one, how can you monetize a rank and rent site while you're building up rankings and don't have a client secured to lease out the website leads? Want to be careful not to end up making my business too reliant on that and have options to monetize if they leave or if it takes longer to secure someone. How can you monetize a rank and rent site while you're building up your rankings and don't have a client secured to lease out the website leads? I don't know. I'm not sure I understand that. If it's a rank and rent website, because you want to rent, either sell the leads or lease the site for a flat monthly fee. Those are kind of two different approaches, right? One is much easier to manage. Rank and rent is so much easier to manage because it requires a hell of a lot less tracking of everything. But you could potentially leave money on the table, right? Pay per lead can oftentimes be more lucrative. But if your strategy is generating leads, whether you're leasing that asset for a flat monthly fee or you're selling the leads, the point of that asset is the monetization strategy is lead generation. Does that make sense? So I don't know how else you would monetize it. I mean, there's AdSense and ads, and there's also like, building a list if you had an opt-in, but I don't know how that would be appropriate if you're not getting traffic, right? If the whole point of it is to generate leads, then once it starts getting traffic, it should be generating leads, right? So then you can monetize it. So I'm not sure. I know what I've been doing recently is more Google Ads stuff to secure a lead buyer for an asset that I've built in a particular area, but before I've got all the SEO work towards ranking. Like, in other words, I'll build an asset into an area that I've already determined I want to enter. I want to target a specific market area. So I build the assets and then I set up a Google Ads campaign and start generating leads using Google Ads. Even if I'm selling those leads at a small loss, it's okay because I'm working on, I want a secured lead buyer for that asset so that when the SEO does work and it does start to rank and generate leads organically, that I've already got somebody in place. So again, what I've been doing more recently is doing Google Ads campaigns for lead gen assets that I have set up before I have them ranked, so that I can find a lead buyer, secure a lead buyer or a renter, depending on whether I'm doing rank and rent or pay per lead, but I can find somebody to secure or pay for, either buy the leads or rent the asset from me, because I've got leads coming in, even though I might be paying for them from Google Ads until the SEO kicks in. Then I can kill the ads and just make money off the organic leads. Does that make sense? It does. I'm even willing to do that at a loss right now up front, because not a significant loss, but let's say I'm paying for tree service leads, $75 cost per acquisition, cost per conversion. Then I can turn around and sell that lead for, $50, $60. So even if I'm taking a small loss on that initial, month or two while I'm getting everything ranked, I'm okay with that, because I understand that once I have the ability to cut the ads off because it's generating leads organically, then that's like pure profit almost, other than some link building stuff that I have to do to keep it maintained. If that makes sense. I'm not suggesting that you guys go out and build a business where you're taking a loss up front, but sometimes you have to, right? And personally, what I'm doing now is building lead gen assets that don't have Google business profiles. And so it takes longer to rank something purely organically than it does if it has, at least what I've experienced in local SEO, that if there's a Google business asset, I can rank it quicker than I can just on straight organic ranking, period, like alone. I don't know if that makes sense, but what I'm saying is, if there is a Google business asset with a project, I can usually rank that in 3 months, sometimes 4 months. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Sometimes less, depends on the competition level, but usually within 4 months, no matter how competitive, I'm able to get it ranked. When it comes to a project that does not have a Google business asset, it takes longer. It takes sometimes 6 months, 8 months. It depends on the competition level of the particular area. So there are some things that I taught at POFU Live of ways to speed that up a bit, which comes back down to validating the entity, guys. Part of the reason why stuff ranks faster when it has a verified Google business profile is because you verified or validated the entity. When you have a straight up organic asset where there's no Google business, because think about it, guys, the process of verifying a Google business profile now establishes or validates the entity, the local entity. So that's why it's easier to rank a site or a project if it has Google business associated with it, because you've already established and validated an entity, right? When it's an organic site only, it's more difficult because you're not going through that validation or verification process to validate the entity. There are things you can do though, right? You can set up a Google Workspace account on the domain for the site that you're trying to rank. You can set up Google Ads because now you're paying Google for traffic, which helps to validate the entity, plus the credit card on file, your billing details on file. That helps to validate the entity. It's a lot less likely that you're a complete spammer if you're willing to pay Google for traffic. You know what I mean? Adding all of the Google tools, Google Tag Manager, which you should do if you're doing Google Ads anyways, because you should have conversion tracking, remarketing, all that kind of stuff in place. Google Analytics, Search Console, right? These are all things that you can integrate that are all Google products that help to validate the entity. Does that make sense? So anyway, that's just, I'm not suggesting that you guys go out and take, set up a business where you're losing money up front, but isn't that how most businesses operate anyways, right? You have to spend some money before you start turning a profit. So I don't know. It's just kind of a strategy that I've been testing with the last couple of months, and it's working. I've got a tree contractor right now in Louisville, Kentucky. That's what I did my training on actually for PoFu Live, was that project. And I've got a contractor right now. He just contacted me again today, actually. And I just started setting up the ad campaign for him while I'm working. I built 2 sites for him in the same Louisville area of Kentucky. The second one's almost published. It'll be published by Friday. And now we're setting up the Google Ads campaigns, and he's going to rent both of those sites from me. So I just got to get some leads coming in right now. He got his first lead today from organic ranking, which, by the way, those of you that were PoFu Live, that project that I showed at PoFu Live, it generated its first lead today. I swear to God, I got a text message from him earlier today, and he was like, I got our first lead. All right. So he's happy. So anyway,